Welcome to Side by Side, a podcast where I, Robert Kwong, take you inside conversations with artists, creatives, healers, and warriors taking the charge in their transformational story. Today's guest is the incomparable multidisciplinary theater maker, musician, performer, and writer Diana O. They were known for combining experimental theater, art installation, and ritual to create deeply communal and transformative spaces, which include signature projects like My Lingerie play, The Infinite Love Party, My Hate Letter to the Gr8 American Theatre, and Chxrch. They can also be heard on the audio drama Give Me Away, which just premiered its third season. Diana tragically passed away on June 17th, 2025, and their loved ones, as well as the theater community, are grieving this immeasurable loss, while celebrating the joy Diana brought to our lives. The following conversation was recorded in May of 2016 at Playwrights Horizons in New York City. I was conducting a series of interviews focused on self-care for artists and writers, and Diana agreed to being interviewed for this project. We talked about the highs and lows of being an artist, as well as different ways to sustain ourselves in a rapidly changing media landscape. Listening to this conversation nearly a decade later, it's interesting how relevant these topics are even today. Since the original transcript is no longer available online, Diana's family has graciously allowed me to share the recording to honor their voice and legacy. If you or someone you know is struggling, please know that you are not alone. In the US and Canada, you can call or text 988 to connect with a trained crisis responder 24/7 for free and confidential support with mental health, emotional distress, or suicidal thoughts. For listeners outside North America, please seek out local mental health resources or crisis lines in your area. Your life matters, and there are people ready to listen and support you. So anyway, I wanted to start, when you were growing up, what did you want to be when you were growing up? Were you I'm gonna, because you might not have been, maybe you were I'm gonna do the Lingerie play and be a radical feminist, right?
So funny. Well, growing up, I always wanted to be a performer, always, forever and always. I was always doing it. So I was always singing in choir and things like that, and I was always acting in all the school plays and everything. So that's always been a constant, but never to the level of I'm gonna go out, get out of school and audition on the side. I have some friends who were doing that, and then I know they're on TV and in films and work, because they have been working at that very young age. They were working
very singularly focused,
right? Totally. Okay. But I wasn't like that. You know what I mean? I didn't really have this understanding of the business, and nor did my parents.
So I'm actually not sure, but are you born in the States?
Born in the States, yeah. Born and raised here.
Was that
in
something
LA,
that
in
was...
LA.
Oh, okay.
And then
see, that's interesting that you grew up in LA, but you're in New York now.
Right. Yeah. And that was because in LA, so I born and raised in LA, and then I moved. And then as soon as I graduated from high school, I just knew that I needed to get away. I just needed to go away somewhere else, you know?
Yeah.
So then I went to Smith College on the East Coast, which is an all-women's school, and I was this is such a huge difference from everything I've experienced. All my best guy friends in high school were all boys, and I was I just want to not be around. I just do not want to be in a co-ed environment. During my time at Smith, I went to the National Theater Institute for a semester, and that's where I found writing. And that's where one of the teachers there just really took me under her wing and was you're a writer, just really encouraged that, but I'd always been performing. And then immediately I graduated from college and I applied to grad school to follow this teacher, to follow Diana Dinavelli from the National Theater Institute. And she teaches at the musical theater writing program at NYU. And so then I got in under fellowship there. And then that's where I got my MFA, and I spent 2 years writing musicals, being what is this crazy adventure, NBD, it's just going to be a really great informative adventure. And then, but that is really where I learned the tools for songwriting, but I had never really grown up thinking I was going to be a songwriter.
Right.
Ever, yeah.
I think that comes from a lot of people who feel like they're very like multi-passionate people.
Right.
Or I don't know what that is, because there are some people where it works where they're just like gotta hustle on one thing, and it's very like, and it's different. I feel like I'm a little more like eclectic, and you have a lot of different skills too that you want to just shine, right?
I do, yeah. And it was like a learning process to accept that and to be like, you know what, I'm not just one thing, and that's awesome. And it took a lot. And there's Stephanie Ibarra, who works at the Public, and she was teaching this class at NYU, and she brought me in with like 2 other artists who are, she calls us slashers, where you're like one thing slash another thing slash another thing slash another thing. So you're like actor, singer, songwriter, theater maker. Like those are the 3 things that I slash. Like I call myself. It's like an actor, singer, songwriter, theater maker.
When I talk to people, it's, for the most part, they generally seem to be like, either they found artistic inspiration because they were like rebelling as a kid,
right,
or they were very much like their parents were supportive and took them to see lots of it was like generally which one was it for you more so?
Oh, that's so, oh god, I love that question. For me, I mean, I definitely think that you don't create your own work unless it is in retaliation of something. And I really believe that, and I don't think I started really understanding that until this year, where it was like, holy shit, all of us who are just like, you know what, I'm gonna like make my own path because hacking at it by like with auditions and all this stuff just isn't working for me. Retaliate. And so I definitely think it was done in rebellion of something, but I don't think it was because like, man, my parents don't understand me, fuck them. It was definitely in reaction to like, I see so much wrong. I see like so much wrong with the systems at play.
Yeah.
As a woman, as a person of color, as an actor, as a writer, like there's just so many, there's like just like so much bullshit.
Yeah.
That it's like I can't even like face the bullshit right now, so I just need to like go over here in this like other playground, because I don't want to like play in the bullshit playground. I want to like play in my playground and like retain my sanity, you know?
So what was it like thinking back to the times where you were feeling like, I'm in the bullshit playground and I don't belong here?
Man,
what was
the
that
bullshit
like?
Playground was like, so I've been in settings before where like I have written things and I brought in things where this like particular group that I was in was a bunch of white people, and they weren't reacting in a way that felt like, okay, so when you're like writing about identity and you're in a room of people who don't necessarily struggle with that kind of thing, and they aren't even open to taking in that kind of story, it can be really fucking scary. And that was my experience, and thankfully now I feel like every single room I'm in, whether as like a performer or a theater maker, has that generosity, you know, has that like open-mindedness, has that, they're like hungry for that information. But I've definitely been in a setting, and thankfully it's been years since I have been where I felt that.
So what was it? So did that affect how you were living your life or how you were taking yourself? Were you conducting your life in a way that, did it affect stress or anxiety?
I think so. Oh, no. So it was a combination of like people being like, you know, we support you, here's this opportunity, and then me being like, okay, I want to like make what I want to make, but then also like being feeling the contradicting environment barriers, you know what I mean? So it was just, so my way of coping was just, I think when you're young and you feel all that all at once, it can just be like, it puts you in a way of like, oh my God, what's right, what's wrong, what do I do? Like who do I listen to? Do I write the like, you know, the like white version of what it is so that they can be happy, or do I like stay true to myself, but who am I even, you know? And so it was just like, I like went to therapy, and like I had the anti-anxiety things, and I took like the medication that like I need to take.
For me, I noticed if I'm in an environment where I question like the level of understanding or like commonality, I find myself acting like needlessly polite, if that makes sense.
Oof. Right.
Like I literally started to become like the polite Asian, who's like super agreeable.
Like, hello, yes, hi.
And started code switching really hard. And
but I feel like that's only something we do when we're like super young, we want to please everybody, you know
Yeah,
what I mean? And
yeah.
so then it got to for me, it got to a point where, like, obviously that life just makes people feel crazy, and you can't, it's almost like you can't have it all. Like, I mean, I have a lot of respect for the people who are able to, like, I'm going to go do this shitty movie I don't care about and also be a political person, but I'm going to do this to, like, make the money that I need to make, and what, you know, like, I have a lot of respect for that, but it comes at a price, you know, it hurts your heart a little bit. Or if it's the other thing, then you're going to be this, like, super political person, then you're just going to like, what is it, chip away at it until you arrive, and the compromise there is that then, like, maybe you're just poorer for a longer time, you know?
Yeah, right. You always feel like you have to play dual roles,
right?
Right, you have
totally.
to have, like, two faces on.
Totally. And it's just, what was so liberating for me was that once I was able to, like, find that Zen place of, like, I don't owe anything to anybody. I don't owe anything to, like, the white people who don't get me. And I don't owe anything to the people who have, like, supported me and given me an opportunity or money or whatever it is. Like, I just, you know, that's awesome. I'm grateful for this, but I can just follow my heart, right? Or, like, follow whatever this is, like, this flow within.
Yeah, because you did the work for that.
Then
you're done now.
Right. And I do believe that, like, I do have something to say that maybe, like, this certain group won't get, but this group will.
Mm-hmm.
And this group will help make it so freaking awesome that, like, this group of people will understand it.
Oh man, even the way you're talking I find so fascinating, because I grew up not having a language, that I was living a life of intersectionality, but you're talking about how, like, you had to handle things, it seems like, things as a woman, sexism, but then also, like, as a queer person, maybe other things that will bring it up. And then maybe there's something like a person of color.
Right.
Like, that's a whole other challenge, and it's true. Some people just weren't raised having that particular challenge.
Right.
So it's even, like, hard to imagine, because sometimes I don't even know how to explain how confusing it is. Does that make sense?
That totally makes sense. Wow, because that is, like, fascinating to me, that it's like, wow, who are those people that grew up without that intersectionality? And it's like,
I think more people than that are intersectional, just in some way, but sometimes maybe it's even like they just don't think about it. I can't say that as a teenager that I had this level of, like, being able to process my stuff, I guess. But at some point, when did you start feeling like you wanted to explore your sexuality and that part of your political side started emerging?
Well, I mean, it was super informed by my time at Smith College, and I will say, like, I didn't understand the effects of Smith College until probably 3 years after I graduated. You know, I came to New York, wasn't in grad school for 2 years, and grad school is its own special, like, way of existing, as we all know. Like, it's not necessarily normal life, but it's so rigorous that it kind of prepares you for, like, battle, you know. It kind of prepares you for, like, okay, I'm ready, I made it out, you know. I really started exploring, like, my sexuality, I mean, lightly through college, and then definitely in New York, because that's just what you do. New York is the best place in the whole world for exploration, you know. And I feel like once I owned my identity, once I was able to label it for myself, and once I was able to come out as a queer person, once I was able to be like, I'm a person of color, because I didn't really realize that until after living in New York for a few years, where it was like, wow, I really am a person of color. And my experience is super different. And I have lived my life being super Americanized and not understanding that I'm actually different. Right. And it's like, once you own that, wow, and I am a woman and I'm not a man, and I need to stop thinking that I'm the same as a man, because it's not that, you know, by being a feminist, I'm not saying that men and women are the same. I'm saying that we should just be treated, that women should just be treated better, you know, but I'm not saying that we're the same. Respect the differences.
Yeah, it's really weird when people are just like, to be colorblind. I was like, no, I don't want you to not see my race.
Totally. See it. But then it was just like, once I was able to label myself, label me, not somebody else, it was, that was the unlocking. That was the, like, oh, it's on. You know, it is so fucking on, because it was just a super empowering thing. It was like being given a religion.
That process took some time, right?
That process did take some time, and that process also took theater companies like Terra Nova Collective, reaching their hand out and believing in me and saying, hey, you have something to say, we believe in you. We write a solo show for our thing, and me being like, I've never written a solo show, and them being like, great, you have a month deadline, here you go. And you know, things like that where it's just like, and that's what I mean about the opportunities being given to me, that I feel so lucky, because I don't even know if I would have ever sought out the solo show form, if it hadn't have been a theater company that was like, go, run, do it.
Right. Interesting. So it's a combination of all of those things. Huh?
Totally. Of like right time, right place, me being ready, and also people extending out their hand.
Speaking of writing, what's your favorite thing about writing, and what's your least favorite thing about writing?
My favorite thing about writing is performing what I've written.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, my favorite thing about writing is just when you get bit by it and you can't turn it off. You can't, like, there's just, you know, when you just get so inspired and it's like, I have to finish this, I have to write this. It's so,
it's
I don't know why it's gnawing at me. Yeah, compulsive. And I love that manic. Like, I love manic emotions are just, they're unbelievable. They're unreal, you know? Like, it's just unlocks a, like, scary secret place that's just, like, endless. It's just, like, an endless place. I love the, like, adrenaline rush that writing gives me. And that also ties in with, you know, because whenever I write something, it usually means that I'll be performing it. That's complete. I just feel in control.
Right.
And also not in control, which makes me feel like I'm in control, because I don't have control, and because I, you know, it goes back to that place of, like, I only have to answer to myself. I don't have to be like, oh my God, am I pleasing the director? Am I, like, pleasing, like, am I, like, being a good scene partner? It's just like, no, we're shooting the shit.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just very liberating. My least favorite thing about writing is post-writing and feeling like I have something so fucking awesome, and if only the powers that be would open the gate. My least favorite thing about writing is the rejection. Because you work so hard to build something, and you have a community that supports it, that supports it, and you support it, and then you have to deal with the system, you know, and you have to get,
like, permission almost, I feel.
Yeah, permission, and all, and what is the word? Institutional support, you know.
Yeah.
Because it's so hard to make it on your own, because it's like there's only so much you can pay your band.
Yeah.
There's only so much there's only so much you can pay for a space, that it just gets to the point where it's like, God, will someone institutional just come in and understand that this is awesome, and, like,
right,
believe in it as much as we do.
And there's that frustration that comes from that.
Yeah, and so that can really take its toll. I mean, it has taken its toll on me, you know.
So what are some things to handle that, but also, like, the broader question, I guess, is, like, when you think about self-care and, like, your own well-being, what are some things that you do for you? Artist dates.
I take myself out. That where I just, like, take in other things, and that's something that I'm just completely not associated with. Like, I love taking in other art forms, and it doesn't just have to be theater. You know, I love going to music shows, and I love going to, like, jewelry stores, and I love going to weird art things and performance art stuff, and that feels very self-care to me, because it's filling my well, you know.
Yeah.
And I don't think I can just create from an empty space.
Right.
You know, and I would like to think that people, you know, we're all exchanging information. So it's like, I come to your thing, you give me information, wow, my mind is blown. You know, you come to my thing, hopefully your mind is blown. Like,
right, yeah.
So I think that's really, really important. I have an amazing support system. I have people who are just the best. I have friends who really believe in what we're doing and in what we're building, and that makes all the difference, is when I have somebody who's just like, go, do it. Yes, you got it. You got it.
Have your people, when you, like, going through your shit or your face plant, who just, like, is there no matter what. And
no matter what, yeah.
That's, like, it's such a fortunate thing to have.
Yeah, so awesome. Yeah, and my friends would come to everything, you know, that it's like, well, at the very least, if I decide to, like, make whatever I want to make, I know that I can count on the 10 people who will be there. and I will be there for them, and I will cancel plans to be there for them, and they will cancel plans to be there for me, and that just really makes all the difference. I believe in reflexology.
Nice.
Yeah, I get reflexology. I play. Playing is really important. There's a book by Dr. Stuart Brown called Play.
He's like a play expert, right?
Yeah, he is the bomb. And
Yeah.
his book is my Bible. It is my Bible. And his whole thing talks about how when we don't play, we lose sight of the things that make us happy. We don't have a purpose. We don't have passion and all these things, you know?
Didn't you do a study about like prison inmates or something and tracing? So
I think so.
He traced back about he was doing like Crime City or something, and then he found a commonality that a lot of the people who are in prison had a lack of play growing up. And I was like, whoa. And then I think at some point that like inspired him to become like the play expert, was because
It's the best.
it's crazy to me, but it's true.
But it makes so much sense that aren't we all just working to play, and aren't we all just playing to work? Like,
Yeah.
I do believe that I'm playing to work and I'm working to play, and that
Yeah.
any room that I'm in for work, and by work I mean like creative work, and like whether
Yeah.
that's acting or something I've written or whatever, that it's always going to be a playful room. That doesn't mean the work isn't hard. If we're not laughing, something is wrong.
Right. Yeah. No, I went through a phase where I was like all work and no play. Like I was just like, how you get things done, how you make it in life was to work as much as humanly possible.
Yeah,
And
right.
it was not true.
It was not-
turns out
it's
I
not
had
true.
my limit, first of all, before I
Right.
could like,
And you
before I
burn
just
out.
had a nervous breakdown.
Totally.
right?
Yeah, totally. This isn't it. Yeah, and it's just like people are inspiring. And yeah, totally.
Besides, dealing with the rejection, which I totally hear you on.
Yeah.
That's a hard one that everyone
Totally.
has a different way of dealing with. Is there a particular thing that you find to be like a challenge for you right now that you're tackling as far as self-care, like things you're working on or things that you are still seeking?
I wish that I could motivate myself to work out more.
Mm.
And I'm like always thinking about, to the point that like I'll sit and rehearse and I'll be like, God, why can't I just like get my shit together enough to like go fucking sweat when I know how good it's gonna make me feel? But I'd love to. Dancing is another self-care thing where it's like I need to go dancing bi-weekly.
Really?
I need
That's
it.
awesome.
I need it. It's the freest. It's the best. If everything in life could just feel like a dance party to me, it is my favorite activity.
Like line dancer or like club dancing?
I mean, like straight up club dancing,
Club
like
dancing,
straight
right?
up sober club dancing,
Oh.
And I'm allergic to alcohol, so I don't have that to fall back on. So what am I gonna do? Like,
Oh, wow.
Yeah, my friend Eden Mary Show does this. He does these like workshops with people, and I think he calls it Dream Big, Go Hard. And we got into this like big conversation on the train once, and he was like, so these workshops that I do, I tell my people, like, it just takes one person. It just takes one person to believe in your dreams for you to make it happen. Something along the lines. Like, it's like you just need, so dream big. So what is like your greatest dream? I want to win a Grammy and I want to win an Academy Award. Okay. And he was like, and that there are going to be hundreds of people who are going to be like, okay, good luck with that. But then it just takes one person to be like, yes, you can do that. I believe in you and you can do that. And I do believe that I have that. I have that one person who's like, yeah, great. Get on it. And like, that's what we all need. We just need one person. But that's not to say that you're not going to face a bunch of bullshit who are like, you're never going to do that.
Yeah.
But you have to believe that you will.
So how, for you, is finding your support system and finding the people is just like, it sounds like you came to the right city, found people, like-minded people. Is that how it happened? Just spontaneous.
No, I think it was. The spontaneity has a lot to do with it, because I do believe in a spontaneous lifestyle, and spontaneity makes me really happy, and that's also part of Dr. Stuart Brown's thesis, is that spontaneity is like, you need that for life, and we need to be spontaneous and keep the channels open. I mean, the spontaneity of like coming to New York, the spontaneity of like going to grad school for musical theater writing, the spontaneity of doing a roundtable reading here at the Lark on a whim of my lingerie play, and then it led to, okay, we're going to give you a studio retreat here, and then it was like, okay, great, just like these things. I do feel like that was a result of just feeling open. You know what I mean?
Like being receptive.
Being
to
receptive
things,
to
right?
like life and its experiences and the people and the world and all these things. And I do think a lot of it has to do with finding like-minded people like myself.
Right.
Because my group of friends, my close friends, are sensitive to queer politics, and even if they're not queer, like they'll get it. And
Right.
I can't really say that I'm super close to people who are not racially and sexually sensitive in that way.
They just don't have any guilt about this stuff, and they're totally open. And I'm just like, how did this happen? Because
Right.
it's not common, but like, you know, once you meet people like that, and then just other people who are part of your tribe, you're just like, great, this makes sense to me in the world, right?
Yeah,
You know?
and it's so empowering.
Right.
And you feel unstoppable, you know?
Yeah. I wanted to get into a little more of the political side. So, because
Great.
your work is heavily, it's like unabashedly political, right?
Whoa, cool.
So, like,
Yeah,
stop
cool.
catcalling, lingerie play, go into some
Yeah.
of what inspired your work and, like, the things that you want to say.
I mean, my lingerie play came about because I read an article about a woman going through her lingerie collection. It was an anonymous article, and she just took pictures of each like lingerie thing and was like, I wore this for this guy, and then I found out he was cheating on me, and then my mom walked in. I wore this outfit because, you know, blah, blah, blah. And she just, like, went through her lingerie collection. I was like, that's an amazing idea for a solo show.
Yeah.
And I wanted to go through my lingerie collection, and instead of little stories, it would be the songs that I wrote about the people that I wore my lingerie for, with the understanding that I wanted to create this piece because I wanted to stand on stage and be a sexual woman and present to the audience a fully fleshed out human being, female, who also has sex.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not a whore, and I'm not a slut,
Right.
and I'm not to be raped, and I'm not a bad person, and I'm actually kind of smart, and I read books, and
Yeah.
I speak English, and, you know, I do all these things, and I'm also a female person of color, and how do we just go beyond exoticizing that image of, like, an Asian person in underwear singing about and talking about sex?
Yeah.
And so as I was writing it, I just got to this point where it was like, I'm gonna write this thing, and all the people who come to it are all gonna be people who already know this. It's all gonna be these like awesomely theater-going progressive thinkers who are like sitting in a theater, just like, great, I know not to treat you like shit. Thanks for the entertainment. You know, I just got so frustrated. And so then,
Yeah, you were looking not just for the people who already agree with you.
totally, I was like, this is such a global problem. You know what I mean? But I'm trying to fix it by like going into a little room and being like, hey, like, this is a problem, you know? And so then, hey guys, like, stop. So my roommate found someone like threw away a soapbox outside of our building, outside of like our apartment door or whatever. And she's like, do you want this? And I was like, yes. I think it was like one day later that I was like, oh my God, I need to stand on this soapbox holding these brown paper bags because they're what we have, and I don't feel like spending money on like poster board. So I'm gonna use these brown paper bags, and I'm gonna wear my favorite like lingerie corset thing, and like sunglasses and red lipstick and this thing, and I'm gonna write my message on these bags, and I'm just gonna like stand in the most public place in the entire world. And this is the gift of living in New York City, is that we are the most public city in the entire world. I'm gonna go stand at Times Square, and I'm gonna film it. I'm gonna ask my friend Hayan to like come and film it, and we're just gonna see what happens. You know?
Were you nervous?
I was so nervous. And I asked my girlfriend at the time. I was like, "Can you please join me because I'm fucking scared?"
Yeah.
And I emailed Hayan at 3 a.m. I was like, "Can you please do this tomorrow with me at 3 p.m.?" And she wrote back immediately and was like, "Yes, I'm on it. I'm coming." So it was just the two of us. I remember that like there was this moment in the apartment where I was like, I can't do this. Like I'm gonna ruin my career. I'm gonna ruin my acting career. No one's gonna want to hire me again because I'm gonna be that fucking crazy person that stood in her lacy ass whatever in the middle of Times Square. What the fuck am I thinking? And then my girlfriend at the time was just like, you kind of just need to do this for yourself.
Yeah.
She was like, you kind of just like, who cares?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Well, what's the end game? What's the end game? And the whole time I was like, I don't know what the end game is. I just have to do it. You know,
Right.
it's that goes back to that manic thing.
Yeah.
Of like, I just have to do it.
Right.
And then like as soon as like I took the clothes off, it was like jumping into a pool. It was like, oh God. Oh, it's cold. Oh, it's not that bad. Oh, this is great. And then I just gave myself the assignment of 10 different installations. I was like, I'm gonna do 10. I don't know what they are, but I'm gonna make them up. And I'm gonna call them underground, because I don't know what this project is yet. And it's going to give me permission to, like, I don't have to answer anybody. And whenever people ask me about it, I could just be like, you'll see.
Yeah.
Which was code for, like, I have no fucking idea, you know?
Right.
But you'll see. And it was just so liberating to be like, I'm going to answer to this instinct. I'm having an artistic instinct. I want to go there. You guys all want to be a part of it? Come with me, you know?
Yeah.
I have,
and just grew from there.
And grew from there. My friends are fucking awesome, and they're so brave, and they're so awesome.
Yeah. So did the catcalling, was it born out of that, or was it a separate thing?
So the catcalling thing was a section in the solo show, the initial solo show that I was writing, because I felt inspired by this moment that I was followed home in Brooklyn in the summer, and I was followed home by a car full of men, and I was just like, I've had it. This is really enough. This is enough. And this is a whole section in Installation 9 out of 10, which is the big final concert play at the end that just like ties it all together, that assesses this exact moment. And one of the installations, Installation 4, was when I went to Brooklyn Museum and I sang My Freedom at Brooklyn Museum, which was a song I'd written in response to being followed home. And also the news of Trayvon Martin just came in, that our entire country was shooting black people in hoodies. And it was just this, like, these people who break into us by virtue of what we are wearing. Mm-hmm. And so it's like, he's wearing a hoodie, I get to shoot him. I'm wearing shorts, you get to rape me. You know, all these things of just like, and I should email you the lyrics for...
Oh, yeah, feel free.
But maybe I can sing it. I'll sing like because I'm just feeling like I want to sing it right now. But so that whole song is so don't ask me why I left your side, out of your home, put you on your own, and my freedom won't be a sacrifice for this life you deny. Unchain me, don't you defend. No, I don't want to hear your same story when you do nothing for me, when I don't allow, but you still break in, you break. My freedom won't be a sacrifice for this life you deny. Unchain me. Anyway, so
man, your upper register is amazing.
Whoa, thank you. That was like totally in the wrong key.
I was a piano major in conservatory back in the day, so I was like,
good to know.
The voice majors were like the drama majors of conservatory, right? They were.
Are you a pianist?
I haven't played in a long time. I had this whole like I need to get a keyboard.
You need to get a keyboard. There's no excuse. There's no excuse. Making music is the best.
Does like when you're acting, songwriting, writing your show, or any of this stuff, do they feel like they come from like different creative spines, or is it kind of all from the same place?
What I told Stephanie Ibarra was I would not be the actor that I am if I was not the theater maker and songwriter that I am. And I would not be the theater maker and songwriter that I am if I was not the actor that I am.
Right.
So I think I need all of them to feel full, to feel fulfilled and complete. I do think it comes from a different place, because when you're somebody's actor, essentially it is a collaboration and you're trying to, tell a story together, but you are in service of someone's vision. So there's just there's just more neuroses that comes with it. I think being an actor is actually a really neurotic fucking process, because you're just constantly in like, I can bring my truth to it. Is that what you want? You know what I mean? It's this constant check-in of like,
yeah, it's like
and you can be like a crazy diva about it and be like, you know what? No, this is the version that you're fucking getting, But essentially it is, you want to tell this cohesive thing with whatever.
Right.
When it's something that I've written, it's very liberating. I do think there's an element of it that is harder. That's like the harder work, because I just feel like your channels have to be completely open and you're kind of this leader in a way.
Yeah.
Where it's like, give me your idea. Tell me, like, how are you guys feeling? Everyone's good? Okay,
Yeah.
great. Let's take it from the top. Awesome. Cool. Whoa. Oh, shit. Right. I have to say my words. Okay, I'm doing it. Okay, we're having a good time, you know?
Yeah, it's very consuming to
Yeah.
make your, without the institutional part.
Right.
It is sort of like the way you do it is like you kind of have to work twice as hard.
You kind of do, right?
It's-
But the payoff is that you're throwing your own party. So
Right.
you don't have anybody to be like, I don't like that. You know, because
you
you're
don't
throwing your
have
own
to
party.
listen. Yeah,
Yeah.
There's a level of
Freedom. But when you're singing and songwriting, when I am, I just it's like a blog. It's like that's my space. That is my space. I get to follow my inspiration, and I get to go where I want to go, and hopefully you like it. And if you don't, then I think there's something wrong with you, and now you know. But Miley Cyrus had this whole thing where I have quoted her on, I don't even know if she actually said this, but I'm going to go with it.
Go for it.
Where she was talking about why she gave up singing and why she gave up acting, because she was like, singing and songwriting is my truth as a performer. I get to express myself fully. I don't get anything from acting anymore because I am fulfilling someone else's vision. But when I get to do my music, it's like I get to do my politics, my art, my everything.
Who are some artists, could be writers, musicians, anybody that have really inspired you?
Kathleen Hanna. I saw the documentary about her, and then I just took in like everything about her and her history and her journey and everything. She's so amazing to me, and I love looking up. I love being inspired by artists who aren't necessarily theater makers, because it feels really good. It feels really good to me. Patti Smith is another one. Dr. Stuart Brown is another very inspirational person.
I love it.
The woman who owns Vera Meat, who's a jeweler.
Yeah, I love Vera Meat.
Yeah, right. She's a jewelry designer and an independent filmmaker, and I just respect I respect what she does so much, because she models all of her own jewelry. She doesn't really use other models, and it just feels like, and it's unapologetic, and it's not like, oh my god, my ego, oh my god, I can't possibly be like the face of my jewelry line. That's like so weird, you know. But that she's just like, no, I like it. I like putting my face on my brand. I perform in that way. You know, she grew up being a model. Like, it's what she does. She essentially just created her own stage. And I really respect that.
Yeah, I can see that being a huge inspiration.
Totally. Because I feel like what gets in our way is that we kind of have this like obsession with modesty, you know what I mean? And with being like, oh, I couldn't possibly also do that, you know? And it's just like, but if we could just understand the higher purpose and like get connected to that, it doesn't matter.
You seem like a very Zen person. Do you practice something in particular that helps ground you? That is the most oddest fucking thing I've heard.
I'm on 25 milligrams of Zoloft, I think. I don't actually know what milligrams I'm on. A very low dose.
But it's helpful, and how long has it been?
It's been since like January, but I had been on it before at grad school, because I would have these panic attacks that I would get overcome with the pressure. I'd be like, I have so much pressure on me to deliver, and if I'm not amazing, then I'm going to fail, and I'm a failure, and I need to die, and I'm worthless. You know, and it was just like, that's not healthy. Like, you're going to be fine. You're writing a show. You know, no one's going to die from your shitty show.
Right. BFD, right?
Right, yeah. Chill. But I do think that it was hard. There were times where it was really hard to like even do a Facebook post where I was like, the world is out to get me and everyone hates me and everyone wants me to die. And it was like, no, that's just your anxiety and depression speaking. And some people have anxiety and depression, just like some people are born with holes in their brains. Like, it just is a thing.
Yeah.
And there's support and treatment out there. You know, it took a long time for me to finally be like, I got to do something about this, because I'm not living my life to my fullest, and I don't feel like the best version of myself. And all I want to do is be the best version of myself, and I want to accomplish that before I die.
Was there a certain point where you, like the anxiety and the panic attacks, that where you realized like, oh, this has been here all along, or did it become like acute at a certain point in your life? Does that make sense? I think, grad school is where it really came to a head, where it was like, oh my god, I do not have good coping mechanisms for very normal things. For like
a deadline. Like,
high school is so fucking intense. Oh my god.
So intense, because everything is a deadline, and everything, you're always like on the chopping block. But so is life. You know what I mean? Like, life is intense, and we're always auditioning in life. You know, life is an
That's
audition.
True. Yeah. That's fair.
And like every chance encounter is something that leads to something else. Yeah. And then there were just times in New York where it was like, this isn't normal. Like, it's not normal to be this sad all the time, and I can't. It was dealing with the like super high highs and then going to those super low lows, and it was like, I can't. This isn't a sustainable thing.
Right.
Here's low, here's high. I want to like be here so that I can be here. You know, here. Like, I just can't have this gap.
Right.
And I don't feel like I have that anymore. Like, at this point, I really do feel like I'm here, and I can just like peak when I need to peak, and then come down. And
yeah, it takes a little time. I find, like, of course, I'm still working on it, to find like get the right pieces in your life so that you can live closer to the kind of life that you deserve. And that takes
that's nice.
Therapy, yoga, meditation, whatever goes for your friends. I mean, you need like different components, and it just takes time to figure that out.
Do you have a full? Yeah,
and there's
I
nothing
really
wrong
do
with
think
using Zola. Like, Zola is a component. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, some people really do need that
and that's
medication.
Not your whole, you do many things.
That's
right?
not my identity. Zola
Right.
is not my identity. Zola is not my identity.
That would be a show coming up, right?
Totally. Oh my God. Oh God, please. Yeah, it's coming to you at 54 Below. Zoloft is not my identity. A piano cabaret. Podcasts. I listen to podcasts.
Oh,
I
do you
love
have
podcasts.
favorites?
I love the Shailene Show. Chalene. It's a little trashy, but it's
Wait, the actress?
fantastic. No, she's like a self-help coach, personal trainer, totally marketed towards people who want to like sell their products on QVC. Like, definitely not really like, but whatever. Her coping mechanisms are the freaking best.
That's amazing.
They're the best.
There's a lot of like health and wellness podcasts that I love.
So many, yeah.
There's so many, which is great.
And I think like if you're open to that information, then it'll help. And if you're wary of it, then it won't, and you'll find a different thing that works for you. You know.
Yeah.
But podcasts make me feel like it is its own form of meditation, of like 10 minutes of listening to like how to say no. And it's like, yes, no, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Surrounding myself also with, you know, I have peers and I have friends and I have a support system, but I also love being around people who I admire and respect, and I learn so much from them.
Yep.
And I learned how to negotiate from being around my director friend of mine, Mary Birnbaum, you know, and she taught me the power of asking for what you want so that you can do your job well and not feeling bad about it. And I remember the first time I negotiated like a higher wage as a performer, I was just like, I have a penis, I'm going to go in, I'm just going to ask what I want, and it doesn't have to be mean, and I'm not, you know, and I don't have to be like, I'm so sorry, you know, no apologies, just like, I need these things to do a good job for you. Thank you. And that was it.
And now it's become more comfortable to do that.
Totally.
That's awesome.
Totally.
That's
110%. It's just like, because if they want to give it, they'll give it.
Anything you want to see change or progress in the theater world, since you're so...
In the theater world or the film world?
Both. Yeah. Go either way.
I feel like theater's moving in a really, really awesome, exciting direction. I just saw Revolts, she said again, revolting, whatever the title is, yesterday, and it made me believe in theater again. Because I go through these ways of like, I believe in this art form, I don't. I believe in this art form, I don't. And watching that show was just this huge reminder of like, this is why we need theater. Because they just communicated to me in a way that only theater can communicate to me. You can't get it in film form, and I need this live experience, and it's cerebral, and it's emotional, and it's sensory. You know, I'm having a very sensory experience.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and so that was so awesome to see that. I wish there were more resources monetarily for theater artists. Yeah. You know, I'm just coming off of working with the classical music theater world at New World Symphony, and their resources are like unbelievable. Like the classical music theater world is like, we have endless resources for you and the arts that you want to make, you know, and we don't cut corners. So were you there as a
vocalist then?
I was there as an actor, because it was a collaboration between Playwrights Horizons and New World Symphony. Ooh. And it was a piece that Lauren Yee had written that my friend Mary Birnbaum directed. And so I got brought in as an actor. And that was so awesome.
But you felt that disparity in resources, right?
Totally. And I was just like, oh my God, why is there such a chasm? Nice. Yeah, everything is so nice, and I feel so good, and you're reimbursing me for what? Awesome. And I don't have to like spend $10 on like a shoe from Payless that's gonna break. I can like go get a nice pair that I'm gonna dance in and those are too loud. Let's go get a different pair. Awesome, you know? Things like that where they just have these resources and it's like, where did you get the funding from? I don't know and I'm never going to.
Yeah,
but how can we make that work for the theater world? I don't know. The movie world is so fucked. The movie world is so fucking fucked. I paid for a Keanu ticket to see Keanu last night and went with a group of friends instead to go see Mother's Day. And it was something that my friend Shinaza Uche he's an actor and he's awesome. He was heading this field trip to go see Mother's Day, the movie, the Gary Marshall film. So basically, he just got a group of progressive as fuck people together to see this movie and talk shit the entire time.
I was like, this has to be ironically. I was like,
no, it was ironic. It was just awful. And all we did was just talk the shit. But there were just all these jokes. There was this fucked up joke. Okay, so Kate Hudson is married to this Indian guy, and they have a baby together, and the baby is mixed race. Her mom is supposed to be this super Republican. Kate Hudson is well, your grandson's name is Tanner, and then Kate Hudson's mom is all well, that makes sense that his name is Tanner because he looks like me but with a tan, or whatever the fuck the fucking joke was, right? And I just we all did. The group of us that went were just what is happening? This can't be culture. This can't be it.
I felt like that was my reaction in all of the Gary Marshall films, but also the Sex and the City movies.
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know what they were thinking, and it was just they must have believed though that they were doing something really progressive. They must have believed that they were just well, that is what a Republican mother would say, so we can say it because it's okay. But if you're not going to make that Indian character a main character, if you're not going to push him forward, if you're not going to put him on a fucking pedestal the way that he should be because he's a phenomenal actor, then you're just shoving us down. You're still making white people more important than we are.
Yeah.
Which is what the entire movie was. It was all these side character people of color. And the worst part is that they didn't have a single East Asian person in it, and I was just you can't even make fun of East Asian people in this movie. At the very least, that was the true offense, where it's you're going to exploit every single race in here.
You're just I just don't win at all.
I just don't. I don't even win by losing by your hand. You know what I mean? I just felt so slighted. I was and you just won the fucking shittiest piece of shit movie award. And I've seen a lot of fucking offensive pieces of shit movie. A lot. There was this other movie called Happiness on Netflix, and it was a man goes on a wellness trip to find the meaning of life, and I was that sounds good. That's gonna help me.
Oh my god, did he go to fucking India every white
Yes, he went to
ever?
China, he went to India, he went to all these places, he went to Africa, and one of the things was meeting a Asian prostitute who was super hot that he got to sleep with, who didn't really have any lines, but she just had to be hot, and I was just that
was your reaction. I'll transcribe that. So the movie industry is a little struggling with that.
So fucked.
Yeah.
Y'all are fucked. But going back to that whole thing of growing up and acting and all that stuff is I was never a skinny mini lady. I was never a tiny little thing. So I never felt I could make it as a commercial actor. The ending was because of that I stopped watching TV and film. I just kind of stopped for my own self-preservation, where it's just making me too sad. And so I don't really actually know what the progress is there. With my lingerie play stuff, that was a conscious decision to do, to make it so visual, to have the photographers and the filmmakers, and to make sure that there was online content and digital things, and using the tools that the mass media uses, because I didn't want it to just die in live performance. It was just how do you create your own commercial and advertisement and all those things,
Yeah, I feel you have, I know this word is loaded, but I feel you have the Diana O brand almost. There are certain things that you really want to focus on, and
but I appreciate that feels organic, that my coming to this brand, this loaded word of brand, that it was if you'd come to me and been tell me about the Diana O brand, I'd be this interview is over. This is fucking bullshit. You know what I mean?
It's there's nothing that about your work that feels you were for hire. It was just more because you're Diana O. Does that make sense? Yeah.
It does make sense. Yeah. Great. Awesome. I'm happy that was an accident. That is an aftermath. That kind of is an afterthought. Because it wasn't this calculated effort of oh God, but if it's not queer and rah rah rah, then it's not part of my brand and I can't do it. It was just very much I just feel so much
listening to that
I have to do something. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just have one final question for
Yeah.
you. If you're thinking about some of the struggles that you've had to live the life of an artist and a performer and all of that, when you if you see another person that is going through struggles that you can relate to, what sort of things come to mind as things that you feel like would be comfort to them that you would say or do, or like when you see that other artists struggling, what do you think about?
Awesome. Be awesome. Just be awesome. Like get out of your way. Stop being sad. If you're sad, then assess that shit. And like you can fix your art in a holistic way. Fix yourself. Fix your art. Can't get up in the morning to make your shit. Maybe something is wrong with you, separate of you being an artist, but as a person. So like get to like love and know yourself as a person so that your art can persevere and survive, and you can like preserve yourself as a human being. You know what I mean? Because art is hard, but we do it because it's funny. It's like art is so hard, but it's so easy, like at the same time.
Yeah.
Because it's like the only option, but it's so hard to make sometimes.
Yeah.
But that is what I would say if someone came up to me and was just like, I'm having a really hard time with like this, that, and the other thing, and it's just like, step back, go see a movie or something, or like go see a non-offensive movie.
Right.
Or like go laugh
You wouldn't
somewhere.
recommend Mother's Day.
I won't recommend Mother's Day unless you want to like write an essay about it. I will like support that,
Sure.
But like, step away from it and like go enjoy your life for like a day, and then come back to it with like fresh eyes when you like yourself.
Yeah.
When you like love yourself.
Yeah.
And I think like the thing that's really helped me the most over these past years was just like locking into my identity and being like, I own this, I know who I am, it liberates me, it empowers me.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
the commercial acting world won't work for me, so I gotta find my other way of doing it.
Yeah.
Great.
Absolutely.
And maybe I'll meet up with you, commercial world. Maybe like Gary Marshall and I will have a high five someday.
Hey, you never
never know, right?
Maybe
It's
one
just
day
like-
somebody will just suddenly be like, I support you. You're like, what?
What?
What's
Whoa,
happening?
Gary. Yeah, totally.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.